this all fell into Fike. So thank you very, very, very much. All right, let's talk a little bit about our topic, right? So what exactly are public and personal health decisions? Well, as you all know, we live in a very, very, very interesting time, right? We live in a time of global pandemic. COVID-19 has undoubtedly changed the way that we live our day-to-day lives. It has impacted the world economy and so on and so forth. Now, during this time, I think sincerely, the idea of personal health decisions like washing your hands and deciding not to go out to large crowded events to help curb the spread of disease, as well as public health policies, which take the form of things like whether or not a government decides to shut down or quarantine on a federal or a national level, right? Um, these two schools of thoughts are absolutely profound, and without them, we would be in a much worse place, a much dire place than we are right now. Now, I personally believe that these policies are best guided and formed by proper scientific rigor and through thorough data analysis, right? Humanity's most powerful tool is through science. And I believe that, creating policies, laws, etc., solutions that are anecdotal are not the way to go, as I'm sure most of you here would agree. Um, Now, we live in an unprecedented time of just a treasure trove of data, right? An unfathomable amount of it. And it's just waiting there, like staring us in the face to work with, right? And this brings its own set of problems, right? Like, how do we know what data is reputable, right? How do we know how to sort through it? And other some such challenges with big data. But that aside, the potential that this that that this reality holds for us, that all of this data holds for us, is just groundbreaking. It will change the world. We can solve as many problems as we can imagine using all of this. And hopefully, this event will help you and your team start your career into data science or data analytics. So with that, what sort of problems might you be solving in this competition? Well, again, the idea is for you to identify your own problems and work towards a solution. A couple of examples that I thought of off the top of my head are looking at COVID-19 and comorbidity data to help identify at-risk groups, right? So you can help design policies or solutions to help protect them or even just identify them. Another really, really popular one that was actually done a couple of weeks ago, I saw one study, was looking at the efficacy, how effective certain plans are in curbing the spread of disease. One of the most relevant right now is looking at the WHO's plan to prevent outbreaks of influenza derivatives, which, very, very topical. Or maybe you want to take a more economic approach, right? Maybe you want to look at economic data like consumer behavior or stock prices and how that correlates with the rise of cardiovascular disease. Or maybe you want to take a really interesting approach and have a very dynamic model. Maybe you want to take a look at how population dynamics, so how people act and behave, are affected by the implementation of public policies, right? We've all seen the curve that we're supposed to be flattening, and one possible idea might be simulating the effects of implementing, for example, social distancing at different levels of strength and seeing how that affects the population curve. Now, what are we going to be providing you? What are we going to be providing you from STEM Fellowship? Well, we're going to be providing you with many large and varied data sets, right? We're going to be providing you with expert mentors, which we have specifically picked for your individual team needs based on what you filled out in the registration survey. We're also going to be providing you with about 5 workshops to help teach you certain tools, very basic things to help you with your projects, especially for a lot of you early career scientists and data analysts over here. And of course, we're going to be providing logistical help from our team. So if you have any questions at any point, feel free to ask one of us. Contact information is at the end of this presentation. So let's talk about the most fun thing. Let's talk about the most fun thing being prizes, because I feel that's what a lot of you are excited about. So the first category of prizes are the best overall awards. And this effectively is a very holistic award that is designed to reward you for not only your presentation ability, your manuscript writing ability, but also for your research. And of course, you can see the different nominations of prizes here, from 1,500 to 400 split across your team, plus publication in the STEM Fellowship Journal with a fleshed out manuscript. So, always exciting to put on your CV or resume that you have a publication. The next category is specifically for outstanding research and methodology, right? So this will be awarding you money based on whether or not your research is very sound, very concrete, and addresses as many possible holes in your solution as possible. Now, the most interesting award, in my opinion, are the Public and Personal Health Innovation Awards, where effectively we will be giving $1,000 split across 4 team members to the most innovative and feasible solution that is presented. Beyond this, we're giving out a set of technological prizes given to runner-ups that didn't quite make the cut to finalists, but it's a nice little prize, and what it will be is yet to be determined. Next, we have 2 opportunities to engage with large national health organizations, including Hoffmann La Roche, Roche Canada, and Diabetes Action Canada, through their National Diabetes Repository, dataset, and workshop. So, with all the incentive for this challenge, let's talk a little bit about the schedule. So today is the start date. This is the introduction presentation, after which I will answer any questions that you might have. After this, we will have a very special workshop run by SAS Canada themselves, which will teach you the basics about their platform and how to use it. As well, today, you will have been paired, by the end of the day, you will have been paired with your mentor, and I suggest that you make as much use of this resource as possible through Slack or email or whatever means of communication that you deem fit. Next, on the next day, tomorrow, we will have a stats and R workshop combined. And this will be split into 2 parts. The first half will teach you the very basics of statistical analysis and really a very, very brief primer for what you will need to know if you have no background whatsoever. Following this will be the R workshop. And in the R workshop, we will be teaching you how to use this very, very popular platform effectively that is designed for data analytics. And following that, we will have our Python workshop. And I personally think that the Python workshop will be the more useful thing for you as students. May 24th, our fun machine learning workshop. May 25th, our LaTeX and overleaf workshop run by me. And I almost suggest that this be mandatory because this is how you will be submitting writing up your PDFs and submitting them to us. May 31st will be the deadline, and the finalists will be picked sometime in mid-June. So again, throughout these 10 days, be sure to identify a problem, analyze data as tough as you can, work towards that solution, and write up your results. You can submit PDFs of your final manuscript/project report to bigdata@stemfellowship.org. So just to speak a little bit on the workshops, first we have SAS Canada's workshop, and there it is going to be run by professionals from SAS Canada themselves. And this will probably be the most valuable workshop just because of, 1, its length, and 2, it's run by the people that are in charge of the management of the system. So highly, highly, highly recommend it. You'll have some time in between to install the program if you need. Please see the welcome document for how to do that. The workshop section. The next one, again, is the stats and R workshop, which I've talked a little bit about. So this is for the basics of stats and the R platform. Workshop 3 is Python, and this, for me, I think is going to be the most useful workshop for a lot, just given that a lot of your backgrounds aren't necessarily in, anything related to programming. But Python is a very nice introductory language that has a lot of libraries that you can use for things other than just data analysis. So I highly recommend this workshop. The fourth workshop is a little bit more advanced, but we're trying to keep it still as accessible as possible to the wide audience. That will teach you the fundamentals of machine learning and how to apply it to health-related systems. And this workshop was designed very well, so I highly recommend attending this one if you want to see what you can do with data science. And finally is our LaTeX and Overleaf workshop. This platform is what you'll be using to write up your manuscripts. So definitely be excited and feel free to attend this one so you have something fleshed out and ready to submit by the very last day. Now, just to talk a little bit about our mentor-mentee dynamic. Our mentors are, professionals, academics who have given their time for this event because they believe in the spirit of this competition and they want to help you as much as possible. With that being said, the mentors are not here to do your project for you. They're here as sort of a resource that you can ask questions to, set up calls, and workshop your ideas, right? It is you as the mentees who will be doing the bulk of the work, right? You can seek guidance from your mentors, but don't expect them to do everything for you. But together you'll be able to form, hopefully, a very strong project that will not only make it to the finals, but also be selected as the winner, one of the winners. So with that, I want to say thank you all. Best of luck and skill. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns throughout the 10 days, please feel free to contact me, Anish Verma at stemfellowship.org, for any sort of general questions. You can contact Elvira for anything related to the event, the running of the event, upcoming questions about Big Data Day, et cetera, et cetera. And you can contact Rita at at stemfellowship.org for anything related to workshops as well as the mentor-mentee dynamic. So with that, I will be taking some questions. I'll be answering questions, and yeah, that'll be it for the next 15 minutes or so. So let me get right to answering. So hello, this is my face. But let's present over the questions themselves. Okay. There we go. Okay, so when will we know which experts we've been paired with and what data we've been assigned? So you'll be introduced and paired with your mentors today. Should all be done within the next few hours. This is a little bit tricky just because we have to, make sure that all the mentors provided their proper contact information, that you guys are in contact, but they will be placed into your Slack channels and you'll be good to go. As for what data you'll be assigned, there should have been a resource that was sent out to you describing the different data resources that you will be assigned. As well, this is an open data competition, so we highly recommend that you feel free to look over any other sources that you might find. So thank you for that question. Okay, so the LaTeX Overleaf workshop will be on the 25th. It'll be on the 25th, not the 26th, pardon me. Okay, you're excited. Great to hear, so am I. First time doing something like this, hopefully it goes well. I think hackathons are always a pedagogical experience, so I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Lots of excitement, that's great to hear. Let's do this. Woo. When will we get in contact with our mentor? Once again, you'll be in contact with them by the end of today, most likely within the next few hours. Okay. Will we be able to succeed if we have limited programming experience? Yes, absolutely. So this is a pedagogical competition. Oops. This is a pedagogical competition, which means that it is designed to teach you, right? We're here to provide you the tools that you need, and we tried our best to make sure that the mentors, so for example, if you don't have programming experience, that they do, and that they can help you with that aspect. So I sincerely think that you will be able to succeed with that in mind. Okay, let me see. So can I confirm the workshop date one more time? There are conflicting answers in the chat. Let me take a quick peek at this. 1 second. Oh, terribly sorry. Okay. Yeah, I clearly I am mistaken. So the fall is on me. The workshop will be on the 26th. That is my error. Um, yes. Anyways, so right now we have a couple people in the chat answering questions, and they have access to the actual documents in front of them. So if there are any mistakes, I'll be sure to correct that. So 26th is the workshop date for the Overleaf workshop. How many teams are competing? This is, oops, that's a fantastic question, which I just got rid of. But we have quite a few this year. We have 179 registered teams with 519 total participants. About 249 identify as female, 270 identify as male, and we have 48 mentors. Okay, are there any guidelines for the final paper, word limit, referencing style, etc.? So the beauty of using LaTeX over here, the template that we will be providing you, is that you don't really have to worry about the referencing style as long as you input the information into the document correctly, and that will all be done stylized automatically for you. As for a word limit, there will be no word limit. So, again, feel free to look at the template and ask any further questions. Okay. May I ask the proper reference? So this question was addressed just now, so I will leave that as is. Again, it'll be automated through the LaTeX template. Okay. You will be able to find these on YouTube at some point soon, once that it is sorted out for recordings of the workshop. Do you need to attend all the workshops? No, you do not. These are completely optional, right? You don't have to attend any if you want to. But again, these are very useful tools that we have designed for you. And if you feel that you want to learn about any of these things, I highly recommend it. Okay, already answered this. Meow, meow, woof, woof. Okay. What about data and whatnot? So again, these they should have been provided to you within the welcome document. If not, I will be posting a link to a sort of a set of data and references that into the general Slack channel after this workshop. Yes, sorry, I should have been clear with this. So again, none of them are mandatory, but I highly, 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 highly recommend that you attend the Overleaf/LaTeX workshop, specifically because this will be the one that will be that everyone will be using to write up their project manuscript. So none of them are mandatory, but one of them is very, 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 very highly recommended. Hi, can you? Okay, so what is expected for the final manuscript is you want to have, again, you should think of it like an academic paper, right? So you have an introduction giving the background, sort of outlining the problem. You will have the methodology section talking about what you did to analyze your data, any sort of problems you may have run into, error analysis, stuff like that. Results, a discussion, and a conclusion. Yes, this is a great question. So we will have about 3 to 4 teams per mentor. But again, because things are done completely online, this shouldn't be too taxing for either the team or the mentor. But again, use your discretion. Any format specifications for the final report. Again, so this will effectively be automated through Overleaf and LaTeX. As long as you follow that template, you should be good to go. How do you download data sets from the website provider or you sign on to? Yes, so again, from the websites provided, there will be very easy to find links. If you have any issues with actually downloading these things, you can email Rita and she can give you help. Thank you. Just to confirm, we'll be contacted by our mentor on Slack. Yeah, so again, great question. We will ask the mentors to contact the students, you as teams. However, if you do not, if you do not hear word from them within the first day, I highly recommend that you are the one to initiate contact. Where can we find the recordings? They will be posted on YouTube at some point later on. But for now, and this will be announced in the general channel on Slack. Are there mandatory workshops? No, not explicitly, but I highly recommend the LaTeX workshop. Where can we find examples of the previous one? Oh, this is a good question. So in the past, research manuscripts have been published in the STEM Fellowship Journal. So I will direct you sort of indirectly to this, and you can take a look at some of the past projects as well. There is, if you look on the STEM Fellowship YouTube channel, you can see finalist presentations and projects, just to give you an idea of what to expect. And in fact, I'll make a note to link the channel into the chat at some point. Are there any specific research questions? No. So this is a very open-ended competition, and we sort of designed it that way to be almost similar to Hack the North, right? So you have a broad topic, and you want to find a solution and a problem within this problem space. Could you share these slides? Yes, absolutely. I will share that into the general channel right after this. What is the ideal end product of the world? Okay, very good question. So the ideal end product that you would work towards, again, so you identify a problem, right? Let's say that you want to be, let's say there are at-risk groups in the world for COVID-19, but we don't have a good way of identifying them. Your methodology, your model, it can be any sort of thing. It can be like a predictive model, machine learning model, looking at different data, different groups, and sort of predicting which ways things might go to help identify at-risk groups. Insights, absolutely. Yes, so that is sort of how I would answer that question. Are we limited to R? Oh yeah, no, you can use any language you want. You're not limited to using R, Python, SAS, anything like that. So you can use any language you want. You can even use my language of choice, Fortran, because that's how we roll in the academic community with very old languages. Yes. What is the format of the data which will be provided? This varies depending on where you get it from, but CSV is a very common format. What are the guidelines for submitting code base? Oh, that's a great question. I will need to think on this and get back to you. So if you can, post this question once again into the general channel, and I will respond to it when I can. How are we being evaluated? So this is another good question. So the rubric I will be providing at some point into one of the Slack channels later this week, but effectively you'll be graded on a few different things, right? One is the general research acumen of your manuscript, of your project. Two, how well you present, and three, how innovative it is. And I understand that this is vague, but just given my time limits, I sort of have to be, as I only have a few minutes left to answer a lot of these questions. How many people are participating this year? I've answered that. We have about 519 people. So, woo, big numbers. Are we provided with the data? So again, you'll be provided links to these data sets, but in general, you'll need to download it yourself, and you are free to crawl the web for any sort of open data that you can find. How are you evaluating the best abstract? We have a set of guidelines for these, and we will be posting these at some point. What kind of the tasks would the mentors essentially be involved with? Okay, this is a good question. So effectively, what they'd be involved with is helping you answer any questions you might have, just about general health, if you don't have any background in health, programming, if you don't have any background in programming, as well to help you workshop ideas, to shoot them down if they're just not feasible or perhaps ill-guided. Where can we access the Slack channel? You should have access to your team channel as well as the general and random channels. Are the winners for all of Canada or Western East Canada separated? Yeah, so this has been fixed. Now, because this is a purely online competition, everything will be online and there will be no separation. So again, there is no minimum or maximum for how long the manuscript should be, but I would expect roughly 2 pages minimum. So again, it's a week-long competition, so we're not expecting a 10-page paper, but I think 2 to 3 pages is reasonable. I thought more than yes. So more than 3 abstracts were published last year. Last year, all abstracts were published. But the full manuscripts, those are what we're talking about when we say publication. So all abstracts will be published, but only 3 full manuscripts will be published this year. Yes, every team's abstract will be published in the STEM Fellowship Journal. I tried looking for it. Okay. I will address this and I will post links when I have them to previous winning manuscripts. Access. This is a good question, and I will look into that. Please post this question into the general channel so I can get back to it. Thank you. Hashtag Toronto for the win. Hashtag Vancouver for the win. Let's go. We need some East Coast West Coast rivalry. So here we go. Since everything is, how do you expect presentations to look like? Only a slide. Yeah. So this is another very good question. So for these, after this initial 10-day period, you'll be submitting your project report manuscript, which will be a PDF. As for the finalist presentations, we want roughly 10-minute video recordings. Effectively, it can just be audio and slides. If you want to have a camera with your faces, you're more than welcome to, but audio and slides is more than sufficient. Well, the template, yes, it will. The template will include all the sections of the paper that I mentioned. Okay, so these mentors will be they will be into your Slack channels, and you will be paired with them. So you will have their information, and you can message them through Slack directly in case they do not initiate the conversation. If you still have issues with this, you can contact either Rita or myself, and we will get you in contact with the mentor in another way. On your code insights, you will be directly evaluated on your insights, your results, and what you report, rather than the code itself. At this point, we sort of trust that you are able to do data analysis, well enough that you're able to use a computer. So we won't be judging you on your code directly. Okay. Yes. So the final deliverable will be the insights as well as the model itself, right? So what you get from your data analysis, the robustness of your model, right? Whether or not it was good enough for the task at hand. As for application, that is a bonus, but a very, very highly regarded bonus. You mentioned that. Yes. So participants who choose to work individually will also be assigned a mentor. That is absolutely correct. I can't find the, yes. So once again, these should be available through the STEM Fellowship Journal. If not, I will scrub through this directly and send you and post a copy within the chat, the general channel. Again, so if you look up the STEM Fellowship Journal, you can take a look. And if people are still unable to find it, then I will be posting this in the general channel. How many more questions will you answer before exhaustion? That's a great question. I can talk forever, so let's keep it going. Where can we find the online manuscripts? STEM Fellowship Journal. If not, I will be posting in the general channel on Slack. Roughly, how long do you think it will take for recordings of the workshops to go onto YouTube? This is a great question. So the workshops will be running for anywhere from 1 to 3 hours. 3 being the one for SAS, 1 hour being for effectively the rest of them. And I would expect that how long this will take will really depend on uploading time, but for sure within 24 hours. I believe the SAS workshop will be recorded. I believe it will be. Yes. Ooh, this is a great question. So I might be biased because they are one of our partners, but I sincerely do believe that SAS is a very useful platform. I myself don't have the most experience in it. That being said, I have used it in the past, and I know people that use it in their careers on a day-to-day basis, and it is a very, very useful tool, right? It is a commercial tool, but that being said, it is very, very widely used and highly regarded. There's a very strong support network, very strong user base. and fantastic, fantastic tool. Okay, good. So now I'm going to take a quick peek into the chat. Yeah, so it looks like most of the questions have been answered. Thank you very, very much. I'll give it 5 more minutes and then I will end this. Yes, hello, hi. This is a great question, very, very in-depth. I'm quite fond of it. So hey, hello. Can you rename your Slack group channel? If you feel the need to, sure. But if you feel the need to, sure, no problem. Otherwise, keep it as is. They were randomly generated, so as to effectively not run into any issues with Slack and duplicate names. Okay, thank you. No problem. I got you. Will the mentors contact us on Slack? Yes, so we've asked them to initiate contact, so hopefully they will. If they don't contact you by the end of today, please directly message them. If they don't respond by tomorrow, please contact either myself or Rita. And yes, and of course, we will get back to you as soon as possible. Merci beaucoup. De rien. I'm not a French speaker, but you're very welcome. Thank you for this. You're very, very welcome. Anytime, it's what I'm here for, to answer all your questions. I got you. Oh, thank you. You're very, very welcome, and thank you. I'm trying my best here. Oh, thank you. That makes me blush. Thank you. Where do we find the recorded workshops? They'll be posted hopefully soon on the STEM Fellowship YouTube channel. Again, will all the workshops be recorded? Yes, they will. Thanks, Meow. You're welcome, Mal. Woof woof. I'm a bit confused on what you mean by solution for a problem. Okay, so let's say, so again, we're providing you a parameter space with which to work, right? So this is the broad umbrella of public and personal health decisions. We want you to sort of identify a problem that exists. For an example is the rise of pardon me, is the rise of cardiovascular disease over the years. What you can do is you can look at, for example, economic data, comorbidities, things like that, do some data analysis, create a model, and then you can say that your solution is, okay, we've identified these factors, these are what's useful, future work might be looking at policies that can help reduce this. Solution might be a way to combat this, etc., etc. Can I get a shout out? Yeah, shout out to Anonymous. You the best. Thank you. Hashtag West Coast Best Coast as a tried and true Vancouverite. I tend to agree. Can I get an example of a manuscript I've seen before? Yes, of course. I'll provide one in the Slack channel. Thank you. Would the workshops be sufficient for a non-coder, or would you highly recommend further research, especially if you're in it to win it? Yes. I think the workshops definitely are sufficient. The Python one specifically, that is more of an overview of the language, and I think that is more than enough to get you started. Further research, go for it. If you need help, you can contact one of us, preferably either myself, Anish, or Rita. Are you married? I am not married. I'm a young, youthful boy, and not quite there yet. How old are you? I am 24. Shout out Toronto. Let's go. Woo. Okay. Are you looking for a partner? Asking for a friend. So partner for volunteering, sure, man. If you want to volunteer, go for it. Otherwise, not so much. Otherwise, not so much. Am I in medical school? No, I am not. I'm currently I'm currently pursuing my graduate degrees in theoretical nuclear physics. So a little different, but I have quite a bit of background in health and health competitions. Let's see. Have you competed in this competition before? I have not competed in this competition before. However, several of my team members have, and it was good enough an experience for them to want to join and help improve the competition. So I think that speaks for itself. I feel like everyone here is applying to medical school. This is not true. Some people are already in medical school. Some people are in economics, and so on and so forth. Honestly, it's all about publications. I mean, from a research perspective, sure. Would you like to star in a movie? A role that you think you would fit? Fantastic. Sure, why not? Okay. Mm, all right, all right. So 5 minutes have passed. Oh, thank you. Love you too. Love you too. 5 minutes have passed, but I'll be around in the chat until 10 a.m. in case anyone has any more questions. That being said, I'm happy to answer any questions. Love you, bro. Okay. Is this competition open to students in med school? One we have one team that is recently graduated and are effectively just starting their med school journey. So indeed, it is open to students in med school, but for now, one team. I'm having trouble downloading satisfaction with the order. So off the top of my head, no. But if you contact Rita, she should be able to help you with the process. Are you in med school? No, I am not in med school. I am in graduate school. I'm studying theoretical nuclear physics. I'm also working at fellowship where I am looking at the applications of quantum computers to the financial markets, right? So, stocks. To make a medical system 72. Now, wow, now I can't win. You'd be surprised. I think that there is a less of a spread in ability than you might think between undergraduates and recent people in grad school / med school. Okay, what's up with everyone wanting med students? Well, it's a health competition, so that makes sense. 2 teams. Alberta represent. Woo! Yeah, Alberta, the best. I'm quite fond of Banff, but that's all I really know about Alberta. I know health. This is good. This is good. This is fantastic for the purpose of this competition. Okay. So 18 more minutes or so. Okay, still 72 people in the chat. Should we only use the big data that you provide? No, you can use any data that you find. Thank you for your informative presentation. You're very, very welcome. Is simply being a part of this competition good enough for a resume? I have seen people post on the resumes that they were part of hackathons and it has served them well. Thoughts on Fusion? Great question. Very loaded question. So I think that fusion, cold fusion, of course, is one of the ways of the future. We can produce an immense amount of energy rather cleanly. And as for where we are right now, in terms of research, as well as industry, there are lots of people going at it, right? In Vancouver, you have a company called General Fusion, which effectively, they take plasma, right? So a bunch of like hydrogen, like nuclei, very, very hot, very, very fluid. They contain it and control it using very strong magnetic fields. They take pistons and surround it. And then behind these pistons, they have these huge explosions that go boom, 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 boom. And they try to squish it down and fuse it together. And has it seen good results? Arguable. I would say that we're still quite a ways off from fusion, but research is being done and it is a fantastic event. Pardon me, a fantastic endeavor. If I'm dying, will you die trying to save me? That's good. I like that. I gotta use that at some point. So thank you for that. Okay. Anish, you're sweet. Marry me. I'm taken, but thank you. I appreciate that. Biology or chemistry? Good question. I think they both have their merits, right? Chemistry can answer questions that biology can't, and at the current level, biology can answer questions that chemistry can, right? There are two different approaches to tackle two different problems. And of course, there's going to be a layover, but I think that they have a synergistic approach, and you know, whichever one you choose, good for you, and it'll go well. I am absolutely sure. Do I prefer chemistry or physics? Good question. So in my undergraduate studies, I studied a lot of things, from chemistry to physics. Uh, Chemical physics is what I studied specifically, to nuclear science, which is what I'm doing right now, nuclear physics. I personally prefer physics just because it helps answer more of the fundamental questions, which are what I personally enjoy. You're taken. Oh no, I joined this competition because of you. Thank you. Well, I am, but you can try your best and try to win. I believe in you. Good luck. Best of luck and skill. Okay. Oh, someone here had an internship at General Fusion. So you think it's inevitable as soon? Okay, this is a very good question. So I think that fusion is inevitable. I genuinely do. As for what insights are needed, it's more. It isn't the fundamental physics. It isn't the nuclear physics that's the issue. The issue is actually creating this in lab, right? In laboratory conditions. And there's also problems on how to actually extract the energy, and it's not. I would say that we're still a ways off. The insights that need to come are not from physics, I believe. They are from an engineering perspective. Let's see. Favorite Pokemon. I've always been a fan of Pidgeot, first gen, because I'm old. I don't want to win this competition. I want to win you. I'm sorry. I'm not part of the prize pool. Please marry me. I make bomb curry fantastic. I can cook fantastically. Who are the judges for this competition? How many are there? This is a very good question. There will be 9 judges total. Right now we have about 4 confirmed, and we're still in contacts and talks with others to get them on board. But they have varied backgrounds, right? Most of them are in health. A few of them have backgrounds in more computer hardware and data science. Uh, one person is from IBM, so good stuff there. Uh, he's cute. He cooks. He likes Pidgeot. You're right. Okay. All right. This has been a good orientation session. 13 more minutes or so. 13 more minutes. Yeah. So I guess to fill up the silence, just because I will be talking until 10 or so. This competition has been such a joy to plan, and I'm really excited to see where it's going to go. Right, and we've effectively doubled the amount of competitors from last year's undergraduate big data challenge, and it's very. Oops, I accidentally answered that question. Crap. One second. What tips can you give teams based on previous years and struggles that you have seen? Okay, this is a good question. So in the past, there have been issues with engagement between the mentors and the mentees, uh, and I think that this is one of the biggest follies that people run into, right? And I think the way to sort of go about this is to really do your best to initiate a video call with your mentor, right? Get that sort of face-to-face connection. And that way they'll have sort of a more incentive to work with you. It's sort of one of those like those like pop psych tips and tricks that they teach you. As for the actual work that's done, it's I wouldn't say it's difficult per se, right? It's about working with your team and going through this experience together in order to create something, unique, robust, and powerful. So yeah, that's my advice. All right, last question. Go for it. What are the biggest follies that people have? Again, biggest follies tend to be if you have a research like topic proposal and you work on it for like a few days and you realize it goes nowhere. A lot of people tend to fall back and run into issues with that, unfortunately. So don't let that discourage you though. You can always come up with new ideas and keep working towards it. Okay. Literally, I can. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you very very much. Do you have advice for doing well in the competition? Yeah. So again, if like any other hackathon, you really 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 want to do your absolute best to make sure you work with your team, you have a good dynamic, and meet regularly. That is the best advice I can give you, because in terms of research, right, it's up to you. So work hard with your team and make sure that you guys can work together well. Come up with a good schedule, and I think that will be enough for you to succeed, programming ability aside. Okay. Good so far. Oh man. So about so if we didn't mine a data set and don't find particularly surprising results, you recommend that we work on a new data set project or keep with the same project? This is a good question. This is a very good question. I think that in the spirit of research, that people should, report on null results or negative results. That being said, for the purpose of a competition, I genuinely think that you should try to work towards a new project, provided it's early on in the competition. Is having more people in a team considered an advantage? I think there are arguments both ways. I would say, in general, yes, in the sense that, you'll have more people to work on your project. So in that sense, it is an advantage. But at the, on the other side of the coin, you might have butting heads, and that could be an issue. So I would say yes and no. Okay. Okay, this is good progress so far. 8 more minutes or so, but I just want to say that I will do my best. Me and my team will do our best to be in the chat and on Slack and answer questions as they come. Okay. Man, all right. So we still have 38 people in the chat. This is exciting. I'll try to give you as much as possible in the time that we have. Can you provide some good? Okay. Good dating tips using scientific analogies. I think that's an interesting question. And I will answer that question maybe on Slack, because that's I think I want to come up with some good analogies, right? I don't want to come up with a wishy-washy one. I'm a little lost on where we can access the slides for this. I have not posted them yet just because I'm still answering questions, but I will be posting a shareable link in the Slack, or I might just post the slides themselves in the Slack right after this. So look forward to that. Okay, still 34 people. This is exciting. And 6 minutes to go. Okay, thank you. You're very, very welcome. Where will you be posting the recording? The recording I plan to post on YouTube under the STEM Fellowship YouTube channel. We're running into some logistical issues because we have to speak internally to another team to get access to it. If this doesn't pan out by the end of today, then I will be posting them on, just on YouTube itself, and then I will be posting this into Slack. Okay, well, people joined the chat. This is exciting. Hmm, many people are joining. Okay, what did you do your bachelor's in and where? Yeah, so I did my bachelor's in chemical physics, and I did it at Simon Fraser University. Effectively, I wanted to pursue the most fundamental things I could, and to me at the time, those were chemistry and physics. Eventually, I fell in love with nuclear physics, specifically theoretical nuclear physics, which was perfect because SFU is part of the is part of Triumph, Canada's particle accelerator, which is where we do a lot of particle as well as nuclear physics experiments and research. Great, great area. I love Vancouver sincerely. So I recommend SFU and UBC if you're looking into that sort of thing. Hi Anish, I logged on late. Did I miss anything important? This was just an orientation presentation. I will be posting these slides very, very soon in about 4 minutes or so. Beyond that, I will be posting, or we will be posting a recording of this at some point later today. Okay, still 29 people. All right, who else? Thoughts on biology majors? Any bias towards chem and physics instead? No, I have. I'm sure I have my own personal biases on which subject I like more, but I think that biology is a very useful thing, and ultimately, like it is one of the three main pillars of science, right? Physics, chemistry, and biology. And I would argue to say that there is math, but that's another argument to be had. So I like biology and biology majors quite a bit. Where will I be posting? Slack, mostly in the general channel or the UNBDC channel, just depending on where. Okay, can we only get access and use the data sets you provide? No, you can use any open data that you find yourself, as well as the data sets that we provide here from STEM Fellowship. What is the Slack workspace? So the Slack workspace, it is, let me find it, unbdc2020.slack.com. So again, it is unbdc2020.slack.com. Okay. Yeah, so this is good. This is fantastic. I'm happy to hear this. Got a ton of questions, so didn't expect it to go on for this long, but I will be cutting it off in 2 minutes. No exceptions. But in the meantime, if you have any other questions, feel free to either email me, email Rita, email Elvira, or message me directly on Slack, post in the general channel, whatever you so choose. I will be, I'll do my best to be around, but I am a little busy. But again, this is what the team is for. We're here to answer any questions that you might have. Okay. do. Yeah, and also the SAS workshop is starting right now, so I recommend joining that if you can. Um, it looks like the questions have completely stopped. So with that in mind, and given that I lied, there's one more question. The deadline is May 31st at midnight, but based on your own local time or some other time. This should be in the welcome document, which time I specified. Yes, it is midnight on May 31st. I believe it is midnight PST, but double check the welcome document for confirmation on this. Okay. All right, with that, I will. Okay, thank you. You're very welcome. Okay, guys, with that, with that all out of the way, thank you all very, very, very much for attending. Thank you all very kindly for being a part of this competition, and we look forward to anything that to any questions that you might have and the work that you come up with. So, bye bye, everyone.